13 miles north of Charlotte, North Carolina, lies the town of Concord, which plays home to Charlotte Motor Speedway, home to NASCAR's top 3 series, Sprint Cup, the Xfinity Series, and the Camping World Trucks. Well, tonight it plays home to something far more important, and that is the UK and I Skip Barber Racing School Series here on Racespot TV, brought to you live on iRacing Live. Rachel Whiteford joined tonight by Linus Brostrom as usual, as we get set to bring you a 18-lap race on the road course here at Charlotte, thankfully not the oval, as we have Simon Povey on pole position at the moment as the last few moments of qualifying are going through. Linus, it's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, it's a very, very tight qualifying so far, and a lot of cars within just 1 second. And with it being most of the oval being used here, we're going to see a lot of drafting like we normally do. So this is going to be a very, very interesting race.
It certainly is. It looks like most of your racers have qualified. Of course, He-Man Tonaides is still leading the points in the championship, with a very clear margin of about 30 points over Gavin Marsden in second, Povey in third. Although Povey is on pole for tonight's race, so, well, anything could happen as we get ready for this 18-lap race, of course, mirroring the official series here tonight. And with only 10 seconds left on the play clock and your top 10 runners not out on track, we're going to go through your qualifying positions. P1, it's Simon Povey taking pole for today's race with Ryan Walker on the outside of that front row. So big improvement for him. He-Man Tonaides and Clark Williams make up row number 2. Simon Maltby and Adrian Bidewell in row number 3. Row number 4 is Mark Turner and Patrick Bolster, Tim Adcock and Paul Thurston rounding out row 5. Well, we're doing it NASCAR style because we're here at Charlotte, but of course that's your top 10. Top 15 would be, of course, the drivers of Mark O'Connell, Connery Maddock, Jonas van Verwerke, Chris Malcolm and Stephen Harpham. Rest of those results up on your screen now as the cars take to the grid here at Charlotte on the oval track banking. Getting ready for this race, we have 35 cars starting tonight's race, which is almost a NASCAR grid, Linus.
Yeah, just 5 cars short of a full NASCAR grid, and looks like the last cars are going to be just after where the banking ends, so no one's going to have to really start up in the turn, which is good for the guys at the back. I think that could have been a problem.
It certainly could be interesting. We know static starts on banking from Daytona aren't exactly, well, gravity doesn't help, let's just say. But Simon Povey takes the grid finally as we get ready for the last moments before we get racing here at Charlotte. As we said, 18 laps, which is no mean feat. The draft will be a major factor, Linus.
Yeah, we've seen it before on the very long straightaways that the fact that the draft is a big factor, but around here they're going to go flat out pretty much from the exit of the NASCAR turn 2 all the way back into turn 1, so there's going to be a lot of drafting. And going into that turn 1 is going to be very, very tight, because that is one of the trickiest corners in the circuit.
Certainly is now, as those cars finally finish taking to the grid. We get ready for the start of this race tonight, and of course, tricky turn 1. Oh, you're going to see it in all its glory in just a moment. Final few cars are now in their positions as we'll wait for the flag to come out on the flag stand for the iRacing gantry as engines rev. Green flag is out. Povey with a good start down the outside. That is, I believe, Ryan Walker with a not great start. Antoninus on the inside, moving up rather quickly behind him. Good clean run through turn 1 from Povey and Walker. Behind them, too wide as we start to filter through this very tricky first section of the racetrack. Everyone so far managing to get through without any issue whatsoever, as the tail end of your field do come through cleanly. So good start by your entire field here. Heading into the infield course here, this road course section normally filled with camper vans and haulers for race cars, but right now it's our racetrack here tonight as the cars heading through towards the final part of this infield section. Very fast infield section here, Linus, heading out to the oval.
Yeah, it's pretty open, pretty tight. We've had a very, very clean start, surprisingly, but that's what we usually see here now coming onto the oval. I think they're going to be pretty much flat out all the way back down to turn 1 now, so we're going to see a lot of passing going on here now, I think.
They should be, and Simon Povey is certainly in a weak spot here. He's out front by a margin there over Walker and Tonaides, who are together. So the draft helping those two far more than Povey. But we have seen Tonaides recently in the U2K Cup Oval Series, of course, on Saturdays here on Racespot TV. He is getting better with his oval racing, Linus, so he's going to be one to watch on this Roval course here. There he is on the outside of Ryan Walker on your screens at the moment in P2 and 3. Not quite going to clear Walker. Walker on the inside there should have the line to the inside. Give it back further through your field. Big pack of cars there from P12 backwards. huge pack of cars. Looks like IndyCar racing here, Linus.
Yeah, a lot of 2 and 3 wide around the banking here, and that's what you're going to see a lot of, because since they're flat out, and it's very, very easy to go side by side, and if you know how to oval race, you're going to be able to draw a big benefit from that. So we're going to see a lot of three wide racing here, I think, especially coming to the last few laps. Further back in the pack is going to be very fun to watch.
Certainly is. A couple of free moments there. Thankfully, this is a largely, well, should we say, white lined out course. There's some dirt and gravel, of course, but that first interior section of the track, it's marked out a lot of concrete, so plenty of runoff areas for drivers if they make mistakes, Linus. It should help people really with the traffic management here.
Yeah, you have, if you make contact with someone or have to swerve, there's a lot of pavement to go on, but as long as you go to the inside, if you go out, there's not that far to the wall, so you just got to be careful with what
Lena,
you
sorry to
choose.
stop you there, but 3 wide for P2, 3 and 4 there, as it's Clark, Williams, Antonides and Walker, 3 wide around the banking here at Charlotte as we head through NASCAR turn 4. What a moment we had there as Williams drops back, but Antonides will move himself up to P2 as here comes Simon Maltby. He wants to get involved as Walker back to the inside for turn number 1. Will he be able to hold it on the inside? Will Antonides run round his outside? We'll find out very shortly there, as not leaving each other much
contact
room.
back for P7, P8. Someone's gone around. Right.
There is big contact back there, and Tim Adcock's one of those drivers involved. We'll have a quick look for you here, and we'll get you replaying your screen. Number 16 car of Patrick Bolster, who just turns in on Tim Adcock. Of course, that unfortunately collects Connery Maddock there, and we might believe the 50 of Paul Thurston as well. No, Thurston gets away with it just about. Adcock might have escaped it, Linus, but big hit there.
Yeah, they tried to squeeze in to a little space.
Oh, sorry, I have to stop you again, because further incidents with Tim Adcock. Going back through the lap, we've just gone back to him live, and heading towards the end of the oval lap, he makes big contact as Mark O'Connell gets very loose and whips across the track, hitting Adcock. Replay should be up for you shortly. Big hit.
Yeah, he lost his front wing and he took a very wide line, went in the grass, and I don't know if that unset the pink car or something, but just a very unfortunate incident for him. He was just trying to get it back to the pits, I think. Now he's way back in the pack, way behind everyone.
Certainly is. Looking down at P number 13. Oh no, sorry, P number 13 is Jonas van Verwerke, I believe, at the moment. Adam Atherton, Battery Man, getting involved. In fact, these positions are all over the place because there's so much passing happening. As we look for Van Verwerke there in the 516 car. Big pack of cars around him at the moment, including I believe the treble 6 of Mick Watson there going around the outside into turn 1. Watson hanging it around the outside. Linus, big power move there, holding that car.
Yeah, if you got good grip and a good setup and you trust your car, you can very well hold it around the outside there, because if you got the speed, you'll just power around him.
Certainly will, as we have a lot of movement happening at the moment. Back towards the front of your race though, it is Povey with still a good gap, 1.6 seconds. He's broken that draft window. He is clear of the battling behind him as Walker and Antonides fight hard for position. This is only letting Povey get away, Linus.
Yeah, he had a very clean start and got a big gap straight away, and the battling for second behind him is letting him get away even more, so it looks like he's actually going to run away with this, unless the guys from second on back decide to just line up and help each other in slingshot on the oval. That's the only way they're going to try and catch him, I think.
Of course, we are in week number 11 here, so 1 round to go. Antonides is pretty much happy, Linus, to finish in second or third. A podium will do it for him. Marsden, of course, not racing tonight in P2 in the championship. Povey's in P3 though, so Antonides needs to be careful. He needs to finish these last 2 races. He cannot afford to have a DNF.
No, you just got to be careful, and I think, he'd rather finish like 5th and get crashed out, but at the same time, you don't want to lose too many points to Povey, so he can't sit back too much.
He cannot indeed. Keeping our eyes on these fighting around P13 here. It's getting very scrappy. Although the number 62 we've just heard has crashed. Adam Hadfield had a moment there. Yes, big impact for him. He's gone round in turn number 1. Showing that one for you there. Just outbrakes himself back in, goes round. No contact with anybody else. Car spins, nearly collects Tim Adcock a second time as Adcock leaves the pits after his repairs. So I'm sure Tim Adcock's definitely feeling a why me moment right in the race, but he gets going and Hadfield keeps moving on the racetrack. Turner at the front leading a train of cars there with Clark Williams, Adrian Bidewell and Paul Thurston getting involved in this one still. It's the battle for P4 through 6, Linus.
Yeah, they've got a pretty good battle going on around the oval here now. Maybe they can draft back up to second and third coming around turn 3 and 4 here. Oval turn 3 and 4, I should say. But being side by side isn't going to help them. However, it's going to help the car behind them catch up. So maybe we can have a 3-wide moment here going into turn 1.
We certainly can, and Ryan Walker there battling with Antonides, looking back for P2. He wants to go around the outside here in 1. He will not do it. He backs out and lets him through. This has really pulled this train of cars together, Linus. Antonides there holding P2 for the moment. Walker, buoyed after his good results recently, his podium finishes. He desperately wants another one, and he wants that second step at the podium tonight. But it's really dragging them back towards Maltby, Turner and Williams. This could end up being a big scrap for points.
Yeah, well, the guy in second, Walker, he's not going to be able to run away from these guys on the oval since he's got no draft and they've got all the draft from him. So as long as Antonides and Maltby doesn't slingshot around him, they're not going to get away. So this is going to be a 6-car pack until someone goes off in the infield by the looks of it.
Certainly is Adam A. Atherton back in P number 11. He is chasing the guys in front of him. That's Stephen Harpham, Paul Thurston, and of course Patrick Bolster, we saw earlier on, involved in one of those incidents. Those guys rounding out the bottom end of your top 10. Mick Watson a little bit further back from those guys, 3 seconds back on his own realistically. Behind that it's Patrick Fairbanks and Van Verke leading what was a big pack. It's really spread out now.
Got a 3-way down the back straight away.
Oh, we do.
4. Stays 3.
That is for your leaders. It's not your leaders actually. That's Patrick Bolster involved in that one, along with Thurston, Harpham and Atherton. Things really settling down there through NASCAR turn 4. I was just going to point out, Linus, of course, we like to focus on Race Spot's own menace on track. That is Fraser Williamson. He's up from P24 to P16 on the moment, but managing to keep it together as Antonides is off the racetrack. No, he's back on the racetrack. We've just been told he was off. Oh, we saw him there. We're going to replay for you. Antonides massively overcooking turn 1. Very easy to do, Linus. Blind corner, really, with such a big run towards the cones, blocking off, of course, the NASCAR run through. But that's a mistake he couldn't really afford to make. But at least the car is in one piece.
Yeah, he just ran way too deep. And if you get more draft in one lap than the other, then you really need to think about that. You've got to brake earlier, and if you don't, you're going to do that. But he's still with this pack of 6 cars, so I don't think it's going to cost him too much in the end, because he'll be able to draft right back up to second place if he knows what he's doing around the oval.
Pressure off though for Ryan Walker. Simon Maltby may well be a little bit more reserved when it comes to trying to pass the 5 car, but Maltby had a bit of a wobble there, so Walker getting a good break. This could allow them to catch up to Povey, or at least neutralise the advantage with less fighting going on. So could be potentially, we might see the leader being caught here as we start running lap number 7 of we'll come to complete 7 of 18. Turner there going around the outside of Maltby into NASCAR 3. Not really going to have the momentum. No one going with him, Linus. So these guys really not as should we say versed in the draft as perhaps oval drivers might be. And solo car passes around the outside will really work.
Yeah, no, you need to be at least 2 cars, so you have one pushing you if you're going to go around the outside, unless you have a massive run. But they'll learn as the race goes on. We'll see. Towards the end, I think we're going to see some good moves.
Yeah, got a big pack there as we look towards the bottom end of your top 15, but for the 83 has had a moment. Ooh, look, that's Chris Malcolm. He goes round there in turn number 1, but no contact really to speak of, causing that on Linus. Just again, back end stepping out on this car as he comes around the outside of a 3-wide entry to 1, which is optimistic at best. The car in one piece. Pride is dented, but thankfully not the race car. As he spins again, going through the infield course there, gets the back wheel on the grass and just puts that back end round. It is not the 83 of Chris Malcolm's day. Unfortunately, he is going to be kicking himself a little bit, Linus.
Yeah, it looks like he might have a little too much rear brake bias in that car, but I'm not really sure. We'll see if he can carry on.
Showing P2 at the moment, that's Ryan Walker, who's been caught very rapidly by that pack behind him. The draft so important. That car on the outside is making the move there on him. That is, I believe, the number 13 car. 18 car even of Simon Maltby. No, 13 of Turner. Sorry, Turner it was. Going around the outside there of Walker. Big draft, but he had a car behind him to help, so that pack forming up and giving him an extra push to get through.
Oh, we got a crash in turn 1 again.
P2.
Someone's around and one car is flipping. Someone's in the
we
wall.
do. We have another moment as well there, as I believe that was Adam A. Atherton involved there. He's low going to the corner. We think that was, believe, could have been Bidewell, Linus?
Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly who else was in that, but there was 2 cars flipping. I'm going to see if I can catch who it was. Harpham is out, and
Yeah, Stephen Harpham was one of those drivers, as
Adcock,
was,
I
we
think.
believe,
he was
that was the
back.
driver there of, we'll try and find out for you, Mick Watson. Mick Watson,
yeah.
and that was Stephen Harpham getting involved in that incident for you on track. So, again, this turn 1, real bottleneck cleanness, really causing quite a few incidents here as these drivers try and struggle to cope with what is a blind entry and a really tough corner. A bit like a Daytona road course, really. It's cutting through before a natural turn in the road, so difficult for these drivers.
Yeah, they're coming around the oval 2 and 3 wide in big packs, and all of a sudden you need to squeeze into a really tight corner where you can only fit almost 2 cars, and well, it's not going to end well every time.
Well, like a funnel, it invites many into one end and really bottlenecks things down towards the exit of the corner, as we do see at Daytona road course. But here, a little bit shorter as they're riding on board with Fahim Antonides at the back of that train, as Antonides' back wobbles as he gets a little too deep into the corner behind Williams and Maltby, but manages to hold him to that one. Antonides running here back in P number 6 on the racetrack as he follows this lead gaggle. Of course, he had a few moments earlier on and he overcooked turn 1, Linus, so really struggling to catch up again and just try and find a way through without getting himself involved. We did say earlier he needs to finish points-wise, try and maintain his championship lead, otherwise it is potentially mathematically possible that Povey could win.
Yeah, he just needs to keep his calm now and try and make the best of the situation and not overcook his tyres or overdrive the car and get any unnecessary damage. You just need to be patient and get every position you can without taking too many risks.
One of the big issues I'm seeing here, Linus, of course, as we pass lap cars there for your lead pack, these drivers, as soon as they have the draft on the oval side, they're going for passes. They're not saving up that energy, they're not using it or pulling out of the pack of pair of cars. They seem to be moving out as soon as they get the run. I mean, is this hurting them?
Well, at the moment I don't think it is, but towards the end you're not going to want to be the leader of one big pack.
3 wide, it's turn 2 there, nearly very much as Antonides, Williams and Maltby getting very, very close together. Linus, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're not going to want to be the leader of a big pack when you come on to the last lap when you go onto the oval, because then you're definitely not going to be the leader of that pack at the line, so you need to play it smart.
There you go, play it smart from our oval expert here at RaceSpot TV, as Clark Williams does lose a spot there to Antonides. Antonides moving up to P5 here on the racetrack, as behind them the group is joined by Adrian Bidwell there in that number 22 car. No front end though on Bidwell's car. This will really hurt him on the oval part, Linus. Obviously had some earlier contact with that vehicle, so a little bit of drag and very cold feet for Adrian Bidwell. As up towards the front, it's still Mark Turner, but Ryan Walker making a move on the outside here. That 5 car, recent podium position finisher in the series. He's looking to try and improve that again, trying to keep a podium. He'd love to finish second and improve his personal record, but do you think he would settle for just another podium finish?
Well, if he's got the chance, he's definitely going to go for it, but it all depends on where you're at when you get on the oval on the last lap, I think, and how much help you get from behind, because
3 wide,
yeah,
into
3 wide
one
going
again.
into 1, and they make it work.
Sensible driving by Walker. You see him backing out there just as he gets to the turning point when he realises they are 3 wide. So very good heads-up driving from Ryan Walker. Adrian Bidwell further back as we look back towards Paul Thurston and Adam Atherton heading into that corner as well. Single filing out as they funnel through there. We see big movers for a few other cars in your field. We mentioned Williamson as well. He's up to P12 now, following the group involving Van Verwerke we mentioned earlier, as they're lapping Tim Adcock there in, of course, the 21 car, first car 1 lap down. Although his speed seems better now, of course. He's had his quick repair in the pits. His crew very, very rapid, of course. As you're getting in the way a little bit of your runners in that, well, trying to get into the top 10, Linus.
Yeah, he just passed Fraser Williams going into turn number 1. It looks like he's going to try and unlap himself from these guys as well. And don't really know why he would do that, but he probably just wants to race.
Probably just wants to race indeed, as towards the front of this field we have Mark Turner and, guess what, it's Ryan Walker going at it once again. They are desperate for those positions as Simon Mulby trailing behind them. Tonight is joining this group, so we'll have a 4 car gaggle here for second. Wonder why we're not talking about Simon Povey? well, he's cleared off. He's 3.6 seconds up the road. He's already in the infield section of turn 1 as your second pack really get to the first part of turn 1. Flawless drive by Povey so far, Linus. He's just taken the pole, got away from it, run cleanly. He's had good clean air, broke the draft early on, and that's been his saving grace.
Yeah, I don't know if it might be running very, very low wing here. I don't really know what settings they're running, but
they have
like they're not able
in this series, of course. Not very many set of options for these drivers.
They're not really able to catch him around the ovals either, I don't think. So either he's got a very, very good setup, or the other just don't know how to work the draft properly to catch up to him.
We did point out a lot of fighting between that lead group, of course, really nullifying the advantage of the draft for the group as a whole to catch Povey. But of course, this track being very Marmite for certain drivers. Some people like these rovals, some people don't. Of course, New Hampshire, very different sort of track, and it's very flat, so the kind of advantage of the big drafting section is really mitigated, unlike somewhere like Daytona.
Yeah, it's you got the banking is flat all the way around, and it's completely different in a place like New Hampshire. So it's like super speedway racing for these guys when you get on the oval, and that's a whole different ballgame than any other oval race you do. So it takes practice and it takes some time to learn exactly how to work it.
Absolutely, of course, looking back now towards bottom end of your top 20, that is Adam Hatfield, Reece Saunders there, and Barry West, well, not Barry West, sorry, it's, I believe, Dean Wallington. They were 3 wide there heading into NASCAR 3, Linus. Well, guys fighting just as hard right in the rear of your field as they are in the front.
Yeah, everyone wants as many positions as they can get, and they need to know what's going to happen on the last lap, so I don't know if they're just trying it out or if they're just trying to be ahead, but it's good to see that they're all racing no matter how far back they are.
They certainly are there, as we had a bit of a tight moment there for Dean Wallington as he had to lift out to avoid hitting the outside wall there as turn 1 funnels down. But looking back towards your front pack, we were looking at Antonides' struggle to get towards the front again. Still managed to get past Simon Maltby. Clark Williams riding in P6 at the moment, not really caught up to Antonides, although in a brake car, making a move now round the outside of Maltby. Maltby, of course, having the lower line here, Linus, so will be faster, draft mitigated at this point.
Yeah, he gets the advantage of the inside, but coming off, Walker will be behind again. He might be able to get a draft down into turn 1, but he loses way too much around the turn, so I think he's just going to settle in behind him. But here comes the 2 cars behind him. They're going to get a huge run.
They certainly are, but they'll have to brake fairly early here to avoid running wide again in turn number 1. Antonides is very much aware of that fact after his earlier moment, but this pack really joining up again as we see Clark Williams getting back involved here. Although looking down towards Atherton and Thurston riding in P8 and 9. They're joined by Patrick Balsa there. They have been fighting this way all race, and there's no one really able to get advantage. Anything gained really on the oval part seems to be getting mitigated on the infield section, so these packs really staying fairly static.
Yeah, you can't pull away unless you're Simon Povey. You can't really pull away from.
Oh, we had an incident actually. I'm sorry, we've had a moment here. Fraser Williamson in the 073 car coming off the road course part onto the oval banking, gets some rear right wheel on the gravel, heading out of the corner, loses traction. That car spins round and impales the inside safer barrier. So unfortunately, from a good position, his race is done.
Yeah, he just got a bit too wider and didn't lift off the throttle enough to be able to save that, so unlucky moment for him.
Then he is, and he crashed coming out of pits a second time, so not the night for the 073 car as he's having to do the drive of shame now. But looking back again towards the front of your field, looking back at Ryan Walker's dropped a few spots now. Antonides has gotten past him. It's now Simon Povey, Mark Turner, Fahim Antonides, Ryan Walker, Simon Maltby, your top 5. So Walker dropped out of a podium position at the moment as we're on lap 16 here with just 3 laps to go remaining in this race. Can Walker find a way back past your championship leader? Big ask for someone only just making it to the podium this season, Linus, but could Mark Turner be the weak link, or could we see Fahim make a risky move?
Well, Fahim has got everything to lose here, and the others three can just gain points, so I think if Walker puts a move on Antonides, he's going to move out of the way if he makes a big dive bomb or something like that, but I don't know if Antonides is going to push to get past Mark Turner. I think he's just going to wait and do it in the draft whenever he gets the chance.
We'll have to find out once they get a bit closer as the 3 of them bunch up here heading onto the back straight here at Charlotte. as Antonidas moves to the outside of Mark Turner, as will Ryan Walker. Walker using those oval strategies there, going to help Antonidas, although he's moved back down now to Turner. So strategy plays here by Ryan Walker, Linux.
Yeah, I think he's just being patient and going with whoever's faster, and at this point it was the car on the inside, and by helping him, pushing him with the air from behind, he's making him even faster, but he didn't manage to make it past Antonidas, so maybe he's sitting there waiting for the last lap.
Could well be now, as we are on 2 to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Your lead 5 have not changed really since the start of the race. The only one that's moved up, of course, has been Mark Turner, who qualified in P7. Was running there in P2 as Antonidas goes to the inside of Mark Turner. Will try and make the move on the inside here. Have a second corner to do it, but Turner goes round the outside. Antonidas having to be cautious here. He cannot afford a DNF at this time. They're holding on the outside. Turner will have the inside for the turn onto the banking, which will keep him in that position, but very close behind him is Ryan Walker. So could see a draft pass here, though, dropping down to the apron. Not a good move at this stage, but very close. Could see a draft pass happening, Linus. Antonidas, as you said, he has to be cautious. He cannot afford to push this hard. Out to the outside goes Antonidas. With him goes Ryan Walker, 3 wide, heading towards NASCAR turn 3 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Antonidas will clear. No, he will not clear Turner. Turner back up on the inside. That inside line paying major dividends in terms of shorter way around the track and, well, slightly better banking actually here at turn 3 and 4 at Charlotte, Linus. As no positions gained or lost, but we might see Walker go up the inside here of Antonidas.
Yeah, Walker looks like he knows what he's doing. He's backing off to be behind these two going onto the ovals, and I'd expect him to make a 3 wide on the last lap here. Now we'll see what happens, but I think it looks like he knows what he's doing.
He certainly does. We'll have to keep an eye on this one, as they've been rejoined by Clark Williams and Simon Maltby. Very little actually else happening in your top 15 here, Linus. A few little pockets of battles, but nothing major at the moment we can show you. Really focusing on this lead group here as we're on lap 18, the final lap here at Charlotte, so expect this time off the banking to be a huge one. Simon Povey entering the oval part now for his cruise to the finish, 4 seconds clear of your field as we go looking at P2 through 5. That is Mark Turner, Fahim Antonidas, Ryan Walker, Clark Williams in P5. We'll have to see what order they all cross the finish line, but I do not expect it will be the same one they go on.
Now Walker is going to get around the outside of Antonidas, who's going to go on the outside of Turner, so they're going to be 3 wide around turn 3. And Antonidas is going to get the run, but Turner will have the inside, so he will get the shorter way around.
Looking at this 3 wide, heading towards the line here. Povey takes the flag. At Charlotte, Simon Povey is your winner. It's 3 wide for P2, 3 and 4. Who will get it? It could well be
Walker around
Ryan
the outside.
Walker
He made
takes
it.
P2. Him Antonidas in P3. Mark Turner loses out with P4. Clark Williams P5. Simon
Here we
brings it
come
home
with
in
the
P number
3-way
6.
situation again for P
We
number
do.
8, 9 and 10.
Not quite 3 wide, but pretty close as it will be. The driver of Adam Atherton will take P8, Paul Thurston P9, Patrick Bolster in P10. As we wait for the rest of those cars to finish, Linus. It was, and it's not
Bloomfield
now.
is going to make it.
Bloomfield will get
Getting
through
a
there,
lot of
so
last
good
lap
move.
passes here.
We expected this sort of action with the banking, of course, as we see a few more cars coming through. Most of these guys single file now, so, well, what an exciting time we've had of this one. Very impressive race, but just incredible drafting we saw there. Talk about Ryan Walker, Linus, and that move, going around the outside, the advantage of that high side.
Yeah, he was sitting there waiting for the last 4 or 5 laps, just catching up with the draft and then staying behind them, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Then on the last lap he got the massive run, Antonidas got the run on the outside of Turner. And then when Antonidas was out of draft, Walker still had the draft around him, and he was just able to pull it around the outside just in the last second. So very well played by him, and I don't know if he's an oval racer, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is, because he knew exactly what he was doing that whole time.
Well, we know he's in communication with the likes of Rhys Saunders, Connery Maddock and Fraser Williamson, so I'm sure they've imparted some of their oval racing knowledge on Ryan Walker. Of course, we'll run through your top 10 now, and we'll hopefully have a chat to some of your drivers in a moment. And Simon Povey takes the win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with an impressive 4-second lead at the end. Ryan Walker, his 2nd podium in the series, brings it up to P2 now, his best finish yet. Even Antonidas, championship leader, comes home in P3. pretty much locking out his championship now. Mark Turner P4, Clark Williams P5, Simon Maltby in P6, Adrian Bidwell P7, Adam A. Atherton, Battery Man himself, is in P number 8. Paul Thurston P9 and Patrick Bolster rounds out your top 10. The rest of those results on your screen. And well, we're going to talk to the man who has secured the championship at this point with 1 week remaining. Fahim Antonides, welcome. Fahim, do we have you on the radio? We think Fahim might need to remember to press that magic button on his steering wheel or keyboard. But hopefully we'll have a chat to him in just a second, as we'll be, of course, talking to some of the other drivers. We have Fraser Williamson here. Not a great finish for him today. He comes home in P25, but was pulling through the cars quite rapidly for most of that race, with a high of P12 from 24th on the grid. Fraser,
Hello.
what went wrong?
I made the stupid mistake of not giving people enough room and forgetting to check where I was, really. Just rookie errors. But apart from that, it was good racing, very close with like Jonas Van Verke, who are all really good drivers, especially Jonas when it comes to the NASCAR side of things.
Well, unfortunate end to the race for you there, Linus, as sorry, not Linus, Fraser even, as you come home with a damaged race car. We'll have a chat now to the man who came home in P2, his best result yet in the series, another improvement from him, Ryan Walker. What a result.
Yeah, that was a bit unexpected on the last lap. I was just when the other two in front of me that got by me, I just thought I'll just stick behind them until the last lap and try and use their slipstream and try and get by them. And I managed to get by them in one go across the line. So yeah, happy days.
A very good result from you, of course. We expect you've been learning from some of your oval racing friends. Naming no names, one of them might be in the interview booth.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything, but possibly.
Well, great result for you, Ryan. And finally, we'll actually get to talk to Fahim Antonides. Comes home today on the final step of your podium in P3. And, well, we believe you might have secured the championship points pending with this one, Fahim.
I'd be very grateful if I have. Yeah, that's fantastic news.
Well, it seems to be that you may well have done that. Povey was the only man who could have caught you in the points as it stands. It was before this race. 145 points to you, with 115 to Simon Povey. So you were 30 points clear, with Povey getting the win and you taking third today. That should place you in a locked-out championship position with 1 round to go. So, of course, we are pending drop weeks in the series, but it's looking good.
Yeah, I didn't participate in the first round because I was on holiday, still out the country, and I think that was the only race I missed, and the only other bad race. Does that count towards a drop week? Missed race?
I believe it might.
Right, so there's that one, and then there's another one which I disconnected in, and the rest are all point scoring races. So actually, the 2 drop races that I have were 0 scores anyway, so I don't think I'll lose any more points. But it was a good race today. I enjoyed it. I did a mistake again in qualifying like last week. What happened this time is I didn't realize we had 3 laps for qualifying. So when I messed up my second lap, I thought that was it, game over, and I parked the car up. It was only when I saw Simon's third lap go even faster, I thought, oh, blimey. But it was too late then. Still, I think, under the circumstances, P3 was pretty good in qualifying.
Well, it's certainly a good result, and of course, I've recently seen you racing on pure ovals, never mind rovals. Starting to like this sort of racing more?
Definitely. I think it's been an eye-opener because in the 2K Cup we've had a few oval races, and I've got a different opinion and respect for oval races now, which I didn't have before. I think most people think that oval racing is easy because you need better car control on the road with road racing, which may be true, but I think oval races have a far better awareness, visual and spatial awareness than road races do, and that can only be good for your road racing if you do oval racing as well.
Well, you hear it from one of the very fastest road drivers in this series. Oval drivers have better spatial awareness. Well, I'm sure that makes us sleep better at night. But if judging by that finish with yourself and Ryan Walker, and of course Mark Turner there at the end, it's clearly worked for you, Fahim. So congratulations, and we believe that is also congratulations on the championship. Well, Linus, any final thoughts?
More oval racing, please. It was
More
so
oval
exciting
racing,
to watch.
please. You heard it here first. Alan Patterson, if you're watching, they all want you to schedule more oval races. Well, it's been another great race here, of course, in UKI Skip Barber Racing School Series here on Racesport TV, brought to you on iRacing Live. I've been Richard Whiteford. I've been joined by Linus Brostrom, Hugo Luis, of course, on the cameras. Join us next week for the season finale.
Can I just say a quick thank you to someone?
You just interrupted my entire closing, but go on.
I wanted to say thanks to Simon Maltby. I think he did let me through. He probably realised that I had a championship at stake. Being Simon Povey's teammate, he could have easily have not done that, but thank you for letting me through.
Well, there you go. There's someone obviously considering the championship, but as I was going to say, I've been Richard Whiteford. I've been joined by Linus Brostrom with Hugo Luis on the cameras. Join us next week for the season finale. It's going to be big because it's Bathurst. See you next time.